Greetings, RadGrad hackers. This is a really quick screencast to go over the changes I made the past few days to get things set up for further development and integrate our first theme. This is what the landing page looks like when you come to it now. I'm going to first kind of go through what's implemented so you know what it should look like, and then I'll go through the code a little bit. So this is now the landing page, and it looks pretty much the same as it ever was, but there's now this menu at the bottom. It's basically a sitemap that only appears on the landing pages for uninteresting reasons, but it allows you to get to the other sections of the site pretty easily. So for example, we can click on admin, go to the admin page, there's nothing there. If you want to get back to the landing page, once you're in one of these interior pages, the icon will take you back there. So that's the admin page. Advisor page is now a little more interesting. It implements this what I call the second menu. This is the first menu, second menu. So it goes, and also we have subdomains. So this is kind of the home page for the advisor, and that's equivalent to student configuration. Go to verification request. You see we're now in advisor verification requests. We can go to event verification. And also completed verifications, and so you can see what used to be tabs in this page are now actual sub-pages. Okay, so that's the advisor page, faculty page, uninteresting but exists, at least the stub is there so we can develop it. Mentor page, again uninteresting but the stub is there, and then we have the student page, which is interesting. Again, we go to the student top level. This is kind of the home page. You can see Amy's stuff. I added some flair, basically added some green text and red text to kind of, I don't know, make it look a little more thematic. What else? And then here's the mentor space subpage. I didn't do much with this. Josephine can fiddle with that. The Explore page is now just a stub page, but the sub pages can be added. And then the Degree Planner page is Cam's stuff. That's interesting. I did a little thing so that when you need to be logged in to see his stuff. So if you use user Alfred, and then I think it's called change Alfred. Doesn't really matter if I tell you. You log in, and now you get his degree planner. Okay, and I think that's basically all that's implemented now in the site, but at least everybody has a standard structure. So now let me go to the code and show you how that's implemented. If we go, the stuff that I made some, the import structure is all kind of updated, but the things you want to kind of really concentrate on here. Starts with the router. There's this idea of having these triggers. The landing page, every page except the landing page needs to have some, a background color and the layout moved down below the menu and that kind of junk. It turns out there's these trigger things you can do in Flow Router to update classes and elements dynamically when you enter and exit pages. So what I do is I have this triggers, enters, and exit for everybody but layout, or landing, I guess. Everybody but landing page, so that the landing page doesn't get the background color and the layout body, but everybody else does, and that's how I deal with not having a global style sheet or muck around with that. So what happens now is that every section of the site, admin, advisor, faculty, landing, mentor, they all have their own, well, I guess not landing because that's at the top level, but everybody else, there is a sub route named the same as their role. So when you're a mentor, all of your pages will be in this sub domain mentor. So like for example, mentor, well, there's just a home page, so it's just you go to the mentor page. But like for student, you go to student, and then inside the student there's a home page, and then there's student/degree planner, student/mentor space, and so forth. And that's how that's all implemented. Okay, so if we go back to this, what you can see is that this second menu is basically role specific. So that's what the advisor has 4 things, and student has these other things. So basically the second menu has to be dependent upon the role. So how do we do that? And the way that we do that is that we have, for all of our layouts, we have a separate layout for each role. So if we go to advisor, we can see most everybody has this very similar looking top level layout. You pass the role of advisor, that means that you get this, that's how that gets filled in up there on the first menu. Then the second menu is past an array of the items and the menu length. So if we go in here, what we can see is for each of our role layouts, we're going to have a helper called second menu items that provides the label and then the route that label should go to. Okay, and then we need a textual description of the length. So you can't just call like second menu items.length or anything interesting. Maybe there's some JavaScript to get the English language version of a number, but I don't know. I just did it this way. So anyway, that's how all of these guys are implementing what their what that second menu looks like. So you can see here, there's just one. Okay. So now we have layouts for every single role, and then there's a shared space where all that junk that everybody looks at is found. And so you can customize, whatever you need to do for that first menu and the second menu. You do that stuff up here. Then we get to pages. We have a separate directory for each role. So the structure has been kind of standardized. If we go to advisor, you can see that there's all of these different pages. In this case, no need for any JavaScript associated with it. If we go to student, you can see there's a student home page, and then it looks like this. Everybody starts generally with this div class layout page. That's how you push the page layout down below that second menu in a uniform way, and then inside there you just go to town with whatever like you want to do in there. So degree planner. This is actually an interesting one because this is where Cam is checking. Eventually all of us have to do this, and we're going to have to move this stuff out of an individual layout and back to the top level. But at any rate, for right now, we have this. And just a little note, this login buttons, I added this little piece of code here, set drop-down visible true, so that actually when we went to that page, you saw that the menu was actually opened. You didn't have to click on a link to get it. So, I mean, this is going to go away really soon, so I didn't try to go crazy on the formatting, but just for, if you're interested, that's how that happened. So that's, so you can kind of click through and see everybody has this very similar kind of structure, right? Your layout page, a text, well in this case text container, but you can do whatever you want. I'll also note that style.css now has nothing in it, and generally it shouldn't have anything in it unless you're trying to play around with a site-wide CSS rule, but don't want to hassle with actually dealing with the theme. So you can put something in here if it's site-wide. Otherwise, what you should be doing is creating a CSS file associated with a specific page that you want the CSS associated with. Remember, these are global rules, so yeah, it's really good to preface each of the rules with the page that you're in, so you don't inadvertently duplicate a CSS name with implications that are terrifying to contemplate. Okay, I think that's about it. I could talk about the semantic UI theme stuff, but I don't really want to. Any questions? We'll talk about it on Monday.